Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ugropi anugrahevayam svabhaktanam nrikesari keshari vasvapotanam annesham ugravikrama agreto narasimhasya drushte gopinandanaha ubhayo parshvayorastam sasarau ramalakshmanam. So as Prahlāda Maharaj was explaining to his father what is the best, and whatever he has learned from his teachers, in which he finds the best, that he should explain to his father. So Prahlāda Maharaj, with the kind permission of his father, he started Shri Prahlāda Vacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Arachanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmanivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktische Navadakshana Kriyate Bhagavatyada Tanmanne Adivuttamam. Prahlāda Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship, with 16 types of paraphernalia, which is known as the Shodashopachara. Offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. In other words, serving him with the body, mind, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as a pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. Generally people, they ask, what is this bhakti means? Because as it is explained in the Gopala-Tapani Upanishad, bhakti word is only used for worship of Lord Vishnu, not for anyone else. Other worshippers, they are known as upasakas. So there may be a Ganesh upasakas, Devi upasakas, Shiva upasakas. They are not the devotees. Because Bhakta, Bhakti and Bhagavan, that terminology is only related with Vishnu and his disciples and his devotees and his worship. So how to worship Lord? That has explained by Prahlāda Maharaj, who is a mere kid of 5 years, a child of 5 years old, but he was a perfected devotee because his heart was pure, and he got all this knowledge from his spiritual master, who is Devarshi Narada. So he starts with a Shravanam. The first process of devotional service is Shravanam. Hearing of the holy name of the Lord. Shravanam is the beginning of devotional service. Although any one of the 9 processes is sufficient, in chronological order, the hearing of the holy name of the Lord is the beginning. Indeed, it is essential, as enunciated by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chito Darpanamarjanam Bhava Mahādavagni Nirvapanam. Why this chanting or hearing about the Lord is essential? Because it cleans our heart. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, one is cleansed of the material conception of life, which is due to the dirty modes of material nature. When the dirt is cleansed from the core of one's heart, one can realize the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. That's the beautiful form of the Lord, which is there in our heart. And that can be revealed or realized only if our heart is cleansed from the modes of material nature. And how it gets cleansed? By hearing. Thus, by hearing the holy name of the Lord, one comes to the platform of understanding the personal form of the Lord. After realizing the Lord's form, one can realize the transcendental qualities of the God. And when one can understand these transcendental qualities, one can understand the Lord's associates. So in this way, a devotee advances further and further toward the complete understanding of the Lord as he awakens in realization of the Lord's holy name, transcendental form and qualities, his paraphernalia, and everything pertaining to him. Therefore, the chronological process is Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnaho. This same process of chronological understanding holds true in chanting and remembering. When the chanting of the holy name, form, qualities and paraphernalia is heard from the mouth of a pure devotee, his hearing and chanting are very pleasing. Srila Sanatana Goswami has forbidden us to hear the chanting of an artificial devotee or a non-devotee. Generally, there are the professional reciters of Srimad Bhagavatam or the Kathakar who gives their wonderful, very impressive and mind-attracting way of presentation on Ram Katha or Bhagavad Katha. But Srila Sanatana Goswami says, unless and until one is a pure devotee of the Lord, it will be difficult to really narrate about the Lord and his wonderful pastime. And unless and until one really knows about the Lord, it's not possible to explain about him. That's why Sanatana Goswami Pad says that Shravanam naiva kartavyam sarpochishtam yatopayaha. That means Avaishnava mukhagiram puta kathamritam Shravanam naiva kartavyam sarpochishta yatapaya. Even though the Lord's wonderful pastimes and narrations of his pastimes, his qualities, his form, and the glory of his holy name, it may be recited by the person who is non-devotee of the Lord. Just for the sake of earning money or as a profession, one may do that. Even though this holy name or the wonderful pastime of the Lord may be very purifying, but if you hear it from the person who is non-devotee, then it acts like a milk which is touched by the serpent. You can't make it out, but when you drink, then it gives its effect. So same way, even though the holy name of the Lord is pure, but if you hear it from the Avaishnava, it will not give you a proper result. And that's why hearing from the text of Srimad Bhagavatam is considered the most important process of hearing. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of a transcendental chanting of the holy name, and therefore the chanting and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam are transcendentally full of mellows, rasas. The transcendental holy name of the Lord may be heard and chanted according to the attraction of the devotee. One may chant the holy name of Lord Krishna, or one may chant the holy name of Ram or Narasimha. Got it? Sometimes people ask, if we chant the name of Vishnu, what will happen? If we chant the name of Lord Narasimha, what will happen? You will have a same effect. Because it's Lord's name and it will purify your heart. Ramadi murtishu kala niyamena tishtan nana avataram akarod bhuvaneshu kentu. Krishna swayam samabhavat paramapumanyo govindam adi purusham tamam. Brahmaji says, the same Lord who is known as a Govinda, Shama Sundar, he appears in a different incarnation as Rama Adi. It's Lord Ramachandra, Narasimha, Varaha, Vamana, all these incarnations he comes. And if you chant his holy name, either or, whether it's a Rama, whether it's a Krishna, whether it's a Narasimha, you will have the same effect. That will cleanse your heart from the material contamination. The Lord has innumerable forms and names, and devotees may meditate upon a particular form or chant the holy name according to his attraction. It's not that you have to do this only and then only you will go. No. Lord has given concession for everyone. As per your choice, you select your own deities and you worship. And result will be same. Whether you worship Lord Rama, whether you worship Lord Krishna, whether you worship Lord Narasimha, Varaha, Vamana, whatever form it may be, that attracts your heart. That helps a lot. So if you by nature have some attraction for one particular deity, then you should start devoting yourself to that particular deity and start chanting or worshipping the form and the name of the Lord. Then further, it is said the best course is to hear of the holy name, form, and so on from a pure devotee of the same standard as oneself. In other words, one who is attached to Krishna should chant and hear from other pure devotees who are also attached to Lord Krishna. The same principle applies for a devotee attracted by Lord Rama, Lord Narasimha, and other forms of the Lord, because Krishna is the ultimate form of the Lord. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. It is the best to hear about Lord Krishna's name, form, and pastimes from a realized devotee who is particularly attracted by the form of Lord Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, great devotees like Shukadeva Goswami have specifically described Lord Krishna's holy name, form, and qualities. Unless one hear about the holy name, from the qualities of the Lord, form and the qualities of the Lord, one cannot clearly understand the other process of devotional service. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends that one chant the holy name of Krishna, Parama Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtan. If one is fortunate enough to hear from a mouth of a realized devotee, he is very easily successful on the path of devotional service. Therefore, hearing of the holy name, form, and qualities of the Lord is essential. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is this verse which explains Tadvad visargo janatag viplavo yasmin pratishlokam avatyavadyapi namanyanantasya yashoam kitaniya shrinvanti gayanti grananti sadava. Verses describing the name, form, qualities of Anantadev, the unlimited Supreme Lord, are able to vanquish all the sinful reaction of the entire world. Therefore, even if such verses are improperly composed, devotees hear them ascribe them and accept them as a bona fide and authorized. Sometimes people they think, oh, it is not properly composed. It may have a grammatical mistake. But that does not matter unless and until the message which is essential to purify your heart is brought to you. And that's what it is said here. Even it is not properly compiled or composed, but it conveys the essence, and that's the glory of their Lordship, then it should be accepted with the whole heart. In this connection, Sridhar Swami has remarked that the pure devotee takes advantage of another pure devotee by trying to hear from him about the holy name, form, and qualities of the Lord. If there is no such opportunity, he alone chants and hears the Lord's holy name. So that's the first stage of ninefold devotional service, hearing. The devotional service for the Lord starts from hearing. And we have a wonderful example, and that is Srimati Rukmini Devi. Tomorrow is going to be her appearance day. Since her childhood, she heard the wonderful narrations of Lord's activities from the people who were visiting to their palace, and they are narrating this Lord's pastimes to his father. And she used to hear them. She never saw their Lordship. She never met him unless and until she wrote a letter and called him to kidnap her. She just got attracted and gave her heart to their Lordship by hearing about him. And hearing is the first process through which you can acquire knowledge. Generally, since childhood you can see, when baby comes out, how he starts acquiring knowledge? Just comes out and starts writing in the paper. You did that? What you did? A question, I don't know. Or you know? Yes, Kana, what you did? You came with a book in hand, huh? No. Mother taught you. How? She taught you. How? How you got knowledge from your parents? Speak clear and loud. From whom? How they taught it? Oh, you started direct reading? You never heard anything from... Huh? In the world, the first process by which we can gain or acquire knowledge is through hearing. Because these 2 years, they are 24 hours open. They are open or not? So 24 hours, you are allowed to gather knowledge by hearing. 24 into 7, non-stop. But you should hear what? Which can purify your heart. Otherwise it says that ear which never gives audience for the hearing the glories of the Lord, they are considered as the holes where snake lives. That's the whole definition for ears. So the person who never hears about the Lord, his ears are like the snake hole. And hearing the first process through which you acquire the knowledge. So it is said that one should hear about the Lord. So once you hear something and you really liked it, what do? Huh? hear more, and then don't you like to convey someone whom you love? You like to share it or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
We like to share it, and that sharing is known as a kirtanam. When you speak about the Lord, when you glorify His name, His pastime, that process is known as a kirtan. So same way, actually this is what the common activity we do since we have taken birth. We hear, we speak, we remember something, we meditate something, that's what we do. But all these things should be done for our purification. And that purification process is termed as a bhakti yoga. So whatever you do, you just do it in Krishna's service. You are not adding anything in that, do you? These are the common things what we are doing throughout the life. But the purpose and intention you should know. So when you come in contact with a pure devotee, your intentions and thoughts becomes pure. And you perform the same activity, but to purify your heart. Kirtan. The hearing of holy name has been described above. Now let us try to understand the chanting of the holy name, which is the second item in consecutive order. It is recommended that such a chanting be performed very loudly. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Muni says that without shame, he began traveling all over the world, chanting the holy name of the Lord. Similarly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has advised, Runadapi suni chena, tarorapi sahishnuna, amanina manadena, kirtaniya sada hari. A devotee can very peacefully chant the holy name of the Lord by behaving more humbly than the grass, being tolerant like a tree, and offering respects to everyone, without expecting honor from anyone else. Such a qualification make it easier to chant the holy name of the Lord. There's a nice song sung by or written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, which explains the process of Kirtan, how one can do, and who becomes qualified to do that. It is explained there that Sri Krishna Kirtane Jadi Manasa Tohara. If you have a desire that you wanted to chant the holy name of Lord, then he says, what will be the qualification to do that? Dainya daya ane mana pratishtha vivarjana shari gune guni hoy karo ye kirtana. Dainya, consider yourself meek and humble. Daya, be compassionate. Anyamana, give respect to others. And pratishtha vivarjana, don't be desperate to get fame, but live that fame. If you have this qualification, then you can chant the holy name of the Lord. The process of transcendental chanting can be easily performed by anyone. Even if one is physically unfit, classified lower than the others, devoid of material qualifications, or not at all elevated in terms of pious activities, the chanting of the holy name is beneficial. An aristocratic birth, an advanced education, beautiful features, wealth, and similar results of pious activities are all unnecessary for advancement in a spiritual life. For one can very easily advance simply by chanting holy name. And this particular thing, Rupa Goswami Pad has very wonderfully explained in one of his compilations. In Padyavali, he says, Vyadhasya acharanam dhruvasya chavayo vidya gajendrasya kaha. Kubjaya kimanama rupa guna adhikam kiptan sudamnotnam. Vamshaka vidurasya yadava pate ugrasya kim paurusham. Bhaktya pushyati kevalam nacha gunai bhakti priya Madhava. What is more dear to Lord Madhava? What is meant by Madhava? Do you know? What's that? The word Madhava means the husband of goddess of fortune. So if you really want to be really aristocratic or wealthy, what do you have to do? You have to worship Madhava. Because he is the husband of goddess of fortune. And wherever he goes, being a chaste woman, she follows him. But generally what we do? We do differently. We worship Lakshmi only. We do Lakshmi Puja only. We never consider about Narayana. Do you think that she is like a modern woman? That she will, whenever she is invited, she will go alone? No ways. She is a chaste lady, the first lady actually of the universe. She go wherever her husband goes. So if you want to be aristocrat or rich, you should worship Madhava. The rest of the thing follows. So here it is said that some people, they give excuses why we can't chant the holy name or why we can't perform devotional service. Thing is that we are not that sophisticated. I mean, who cares? We have an example. Dacoits and unsophisticated aborigines who were staying in the forest, they became a pure devotee of the Lord and they had an audience of Lord or the personal reciprocation with the Lord. The first person, Vyadha or hunter, is Ratnakar. Later he became a Valmiki and wrote a Ramayana before Lord Ramchandra appeared. Other one is Mrigari, who came in contact with the Mahārāja and became a great soul. So Vyadasya Acharanam, it's not that your sophisticated behavior can qualify you to take a devotional service. Vyadasya Acharanam dhruvasya chavayo. Sometimes people, they think, oh, that's not the age to do all these things. When I will grow old, after my retirement, I can do it. But the whole life you are not done that, do you think that you will do it at the big end of a life? Is it possible? Huh? Not at all. So there is no restriction to perform a devotional service. It can be performed from womb to tomb. From the birth up to death. And even after death also. That's the glory of devotional service. Dhruvasya chavaya. What was the age of Dhruva? 5 when he attended the Lord. Or 65. He was just 5. So there is no age limit or restriction that you can do only after a certain age, then your devotion can be performed. No way. Some people, they think we are not that educated in spirituality. Who cares for that? Do we have desire to surrender? That is more than enough. Then he gives example of Gajendra. Do you know Gajendra? Where is he? Can you see him? This Gajendra was able to see their lordship when? when he was in intense suffering and he started glorifying the Lord, Lord appeared for him. Has he done some PhD from OAI University or ASU? No. He was an animal staying in a forest, but still he was able to attain the Lordship. Kubjaya kimanama rupa guna adhikam. Then he gave further example that some people they think, I should be beautiful and handsome, good looking, then only I can attract their Lordship. Who cares about your beauty, which is going to get destroyed by the time? What was the beauty of Kubja? The word itself indicates that she was a hunchback. And the hunchback person never looks handsome, beautiful or cute. Does it? No. But still she attracted their Lordship by her devotion or by her service rendered to him. Then people they think we should have some bank balance, some riches, then only we can perform devotional service. Kim tat sudamna dhanam. What was the opulence or wealth or aristocracy that Sudama had? Huh? Was he a richest person in the world that time? No. He was a simple Brahmana who was so poor that he has to beg from others' house to carry something for the Lord. But he was able to attain the Lordship. Few people just think that I should take birth in royal family or maybe in the Brahminical family or maybe some aristocratic Vaishya family, then I can perform devotional service. That's not the qualification. Generally, it happens that when you get that aristocratic family or wealthy family or some known family, you don't bother about the law. And most of the people you can think, just little bunch of money is there, they think that like they are like a controller. Ishwaraham aham bodhi siddhoham balavan. I am the person who is perfected, I am the Ishwar, I am the controller, everything. That comes because of opulence. But what was the aristocratic birth of Vidura? Vidura was just like a Dasiputra. But he was able to attain the Lord. Then further it is said, Yadopate ugrasya kim paurusham. Sometimes people they think that I should be a little bit more powerful than I can. But what was the power of Ugrasen? His own son caught him and put him into jail. But still Lord came and saved him. Then at the culmination, in conclusion, Rupa Goswami Pad says that Bhaktya pushyati kevalam nacha gune bhakti priyo madavaha. What pleases is their Lordship is nothing but your devotion, your mode or mood through which you render service to the Lord. And that's why it is said, it is understood from the authoritative sources of Vedic literature that especially in the age of a Kali Yuga, people are generally short-living, extremely bad in their habits, and inclined to accept methods of devotional service that are not bona fide. Moreover, they are always disrupted by the material condition, and they are mostly unfortunate. Under the circumstances, the performance of other process, such as a yajna, dana, tapa, kriya, sacrifices, charity, and so on, are not at all possible. Therefore, it is recommended, Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama eva kevalam, kalau nasteva, 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 gatir anyataha. In this age of a quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting of the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. Simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one advances perfectly in spiritual life. This is the best process for success in a life. In other ages, the chanting of the holy name is equally powerful, but especially in this age, Kali Yuga, it is most powerful. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Braje. Simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one is liberated and returns home back to Godhead. Therefore, even if one is able to perform other process of devotional service, one must adopt the chanting of the holy name as the principal method of advancing in a spiritual life. Yadne Sankirtana Praya Yajantiya Sumeda Saha. Those who are very sharp in their intelligence should adopt this process of chanting the holy names of the Lord. One should not, however, manufacture different types of chanting. One should adhere seriously to the chanting of the holy name as recommended in the scriptures. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. While chanting the holy name of the Lord, one should be careful to avoid 10 offenses. If you do offenseless chanting, then it becomes very easy to attain the Lordship. From Sanat Kumar, it is understood that even if a person is a severe offender in many ways, he is freed from offensive life if he takes shelter of the Lord's holy name. Indeed, even if a human being is no better than a two-legged animal, he will be liberated if he takes shelter of the holy name of the Lord. One should therefore be very careful not to commit offense at the lotus feet of Lord's holy name. The offenses are described as follows. 1. To blaspheme a devotee, especially a devotee engaged in broadcasting the glories of the holy name. 2nd, to consider the name of Lord Shiva or any other demigod to be equal as powerful as the holy name of the Supreme Personality of a Godhead. Nobody is equal to Supreme Personality of a Godhead, nor is anyone superior to him. Then the 3rd offense, to disobey the instructions of a spiritual master. 4th, to blaspheme the Vedic literatures and the literatures compiled in pursuance of the Vedic literatures. 5th, to comment that the glories of holy name of the Lord are exaggerated. Then 6th, to interpret the holy name in deviant way or give some mundane interpretation of the holy name of the Lord. Then the 8th, to commit a sinful, 7th is to commit a sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. And 8th, to compare the chanting of the holy name to pious activities. And 9th is to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. And 10th one, not to awaken in a transcendental attachment for the chanting of the holy name, even after hearing all these scriptural injunctions. So while chanting the holy name of the Lord, one should not commit these 10 offenses. One should be careful about this. There is no way to atone for any of these offenses. That's most important. If you commit, you have to get a result. There's no way to get rid of this. It is therefore recommended that an offender at the feet of the holy name continue to chant the holy name 24 hours a day. Constant chanting of the holy name will make one free of the offenses. And then he will gradually be elevated to the transcendental platform on which he can chant the pure holy name and thus become a lover of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. It is recommended that even if one commits offense, one should continue chanting the holy name. In other words, the chanting of the holy name makes one's offense less. In the book known as the Nama Kaumudi, it is recommended that if one is an offender at the lotus feet of Vaishnava, he should submit to that Vaishnava and be excused. Similarly, if one is an offender in chanting the holy name, he should submit to the holy name and thus be freed from his offenses. In this connection, there is the following statement spoken by Daksha to Lord Shiva. I did not know the glories of your personality, and therefore I committed an offense at your lotus feet in the open assembly. You are so kind, however, that you did not accept my offenses. Instead, when I was falling down because of accusing you, you saved me by your merciful glance. You are most great. Kindly excuse me and be satisfied with your own exalted quality. Thus, he submitted himself in front of Lord Shiva and got excused. One should be very humble and meek to offer one's desire and chant prayers composed in glorification of the Holy Name, such as Ayamukta Kuler Upasyamana and Nivritta Tarasher Upagiyamana. One should chant such prayers to become free from the offenses at the lotus feet of the holy name. Nivritta Tarasher Upagiyamana Bhavoshadi Shotra Manovirana Kauttama Shloka Gunanuvada Human Virachet Vina Pashukna. Glorification of the Supreme Personality of a Godhead is performed in the Parampara system. That is, it is conveyed from spiritual master to disciple. Such a glorification is relished by those no longer interested in the false, temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. Descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. Therefore, who will cease hearing such a glorification of the Lord except the butcher or one who is killing his own self? So here it is said that person who is not attached to hearing about the Lord is not but a butcher of his own soul. He's killing himself. And that's why it is said that one should take shelter of the holy name of the Lord. Then further it is said, if one regularly hear about the Lord, he speaks about the Lord, then automatically that smaranam comes. You try to remember him. You try to meditate on him. Then the next process in the ninefold devotional service is smaranam. After one regularly performs the process of hearing and chanting, and after the core of one's heart is cleansed, smaranam means remembering is recommended. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami tells King Parikshit, Etana nirvidyamanam mipshantam akutabhayam yoginam drapanirnitam harer naman kiratanam. O king of a great yogi, O king For a great yogis who have completely renounced all material connections, for those who desire all material enjoyment, and for those who are self-satisfied by dint of a transcendental knowledge, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord is recommended. According to the different relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are varieties of Namanu Kirtanam, chanting the holy name of God. And thus, according to the different relationships and mellows, there are 5 kinds of remembering. They are as follows. 1. Conducting research into the worship of particular form of the Lord. 2nd, concentrating in the mind on one subject and withdrawing the mind's activities of thinking, feeling and willing from all other subjects. 3rd, concentrating upon the particular form of the Lord. This is called meditation. 4th, concentrating one's mind continuously on the form of the Lord. This is called Dhruvana Smriti, or perfect meditation. And 5th, awakening a likening for a concentration upon the particular form. This is called Samadhi, or trance. Mental concentration upon a particular pastimes of the Lord in a particular circumstances is also called remembrance. Therefore, Samadhi, trance, can be possible in 5 different ways in terms of one's relationship. Specifically, the trance of devotees on the stage of neutrality is called mental concentration. So when that happens, then the next stage or next process comes, and that is Pada Sevana. According to the one's taste and strength, hearing, chanting and remembrance may be followed by Pada Sevana. One obtains the perfection of remembering when one constantly thinks of the lotus feet of the Lord. Being intensely attached to the thinking of the Lord's lotus feet is called Pada Sevanam. When one is particularly adherent to the process of Pada Sevanam, this process gradually includes other processes, such as the seeing the form of the Lord, touching the form of the Lord, circumambulating the form of the temple, form or the temple of the Lord, visiting such a places as Jagannath Puri, Dwarka and Mathura to see the Lord's form, and bathing in the Ganges or Yamuna, bathing in the Ganges and serving the pure Vaishnavas are also known as Tadiya Upasanam. This is also Pada Sevanam. The word Tadiya means in relationship with the Lord, service to the Vaishnava. Tulasi, Ganga and Yamuna are included in Pada Sevanam. All these processes help one advance in spiritual life very quickly. So worshipping Ganges, Yamuna river and Tulasi Maharani is considered equally as worshipping the lotus feet of their Lordship. Because these personalities are considered as Tadiya, in relationship with the Lord. And this is called as a Tadiya Upasana. And if you worship them, then definitely it's considered as equally as you worship their Lordship, so to speak. Then further, the 5th process of this devotional service is that Archanam. After Pada Sevanam comes the process of Archanam, means worship of the deity. If one is interested in the process of Archanam, one must positively take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and learn the process from him. There are many books of Archana, especially Narad Pancharatra, in this age. The Pancharatra system is particularly recommended for Archana deity worship. There are 2 systems of Archana, the Bhagavata system and Pancharatrika system. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is no recommendation of Pancharatrika worship, because in this age of Kali Yuga, even without deity worship, everything can be perfectly performed simply by hearing, chanting, remembering, and worship of the lotus feet of the Lord. And that's why Sri Rupa Goswami states, Shri Vishnu Shravane Parikshida Abhavad Vaiyasake Kirtane Prahlāda Smarane Tadangri Bhajane Lakshmi Prato Pujane Akrurastava Pada Vivandane Kapipatir Dase Tat Sakhe Arjuna Sarvasvatmani Vedanam Balirabhuta Krishnapati Yesham Param. So Rupa Goswami Pada in his Padyavali, he says, Parikshit Maharaj attended salvation simply by hearing. And Shukadeva Goswami attended salvation simply by chanting. Prahalad Maharaj attended salvation by remembering the Lord. The goddess of fortune Lakshmi Devi attended perfection by worshipping the Lord's lotus feet. Rutu Maharaj attended the salvation by worshipping the deity of the Lord. Akrur attended salvation by offering prayers, and Hanuman by rendering service. Arjuna by establishing friendship with the Lord, and Bali Maharaj by offering everything to the service of the Lord. All these great devotees serve the Lord according to a particular process, but every one of them attended salvation and became eligible to return back to Godhead. This is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It is therefore recommended that initiated devotees follow the principles of Narad Pancharatra by worshipping the deity in the temple. Especially for householder devotees who are opulent in material possession, the path of deity worship is strongly recommended. An opulent householder devotee who does not engage his hard-earned money in the service of the Lord is called miser. One should not engage paid brahmanas to worship the deity. If one does not personally worship the deity but engages paid servant instead, he is considered lazy, and his worship of a deity is called artificial. An opulent householder can collect luxurious paraphernalia for deity worship, and consequently for householder devotees the worship of the deity is compulsory. In our Krishna consciousness movement, there are brahmacharis, grahasthas, vanaprasthas and sannyasis. But the deity worship in the temple should be performed especially by the householders. The brahmacharis can go with the sannyasis to preach, and the vanaprasthas should prepare themselves for the next status of renounced life, sannyas. Grahastha devotees, however, are generally engaged in the material activities, and therefore, if they do not take to deity worship, their falling down is positively assured. Deity worship means following the rules and regulations precisely. That will keep one steady in devotional service. Generally, householders have children, and then the wives of the householder should be engaged in caring for the children, just as a woman acting as a teacher care for the children in a nursery school. Grahastha devotees must adopt the Archana Vivi or deity worship according to the suitable arrangements and directions given by the spiritual master. Regarding those unable to take the deity worship in the temple, there is the following statement in the Agni Puran. Any householder devotee circumstantially unable to worship the deity must at least see the deity worship, and in this way he may achieve success also. The special purpose of deity worship to keep oneself pure and clean. Grahastha devotees should be actual examples of cleanliness. Deity worship should be continued along with hearing and chanting. Therefore, every mantra is preceded by the word Namaha. In all the mantras, there are specific potencies of which the Grahastha devotee must take advantage. There are many mantras preceded by the word Namaha, but if one chants the holy name of the Lord, he receives the result of chanting Namaha many times. By chanting the holy names of the Lord, one can reach the platform of a love of God. One might ask, then what is the necessity of being initiated? The answer is that even though the chanting of the holy name is sufficient to enable one to progress in spiritual life to the standard of love of Godhead, one is nonetheless susceptible to contamination because of possessing a material body. Consequently, special stress is given to Archana Vidhi. One should therefore regularly take advantage of the Bhagavata process and Pancharatriki process. Deity worship has two divisions, namely pure and mixed with the fruitive activities. For one who is steady, deity worship is compulsory. Observing the various types of festivals such as Sri Janmashtami, Ramanavami and Narasimha Chaturdashi is also included in the process of a deity worship. In other words, it is compulsory for householders, devotees to observe these festivals. Now let us discuss the offenses in the deity worship. The following are the offenses. 1. To enter the temple with a shoes or being carried on a palanquin. 2. Not to observe the prescribed festivals. 3. To avoid offering obeisances in front of the deity. 4. To offer prayers in an unclean state, not having washed one's hand after eating. 5. To offer obeisances with one hand. 5. To circumambulate directly in front of the deity. 6. To spread one's legs before the deity. To sit before the deity while holding the way you are sitting. To sit before a deity while holding one's ankles with one's hand. To lie down before the deity. To eat before the deity. To speak lies before the deity. To address someone loudly before the deity. To talk nonsense before the deity. To cry before the deity. To argue before the deity. To chastise someone before the deity. To show someone favor before the deity. To use harsh words before the deity. To wear a woolen blanket before the deity. To blaspheme someone before the deity. To worship someone else before the deity. To use vulgar language before the deity. To pass air before the deity. To avoid very opulent worship of the deity even though one is able to perform it. To eat something not offered to the deity. To avoid offering fresh fruits to the deity according to the seasons. To offer food to the deity which has already been used or from which has first been given to others. In other words, food should not be distributed to anyone else until it has been offered to the deity. To sit with one's back toward the deity, that is also an offense. To offer obeisances to someone else in front of the deity. Not to chant proper prayers when offering obeisances to the spiritual master. To praise oneself before the deity and to blaspheme the demigods in the worship of the deity. These 32 offenses should be avoided. In the Varaha Puran, following offenses are mentioned. to eat in the house of a rich man, to enter the deity room in the dark, to worship the deity without following the regulative principle, to enter the temple without vibrating and sound, to collect food that has been seen by a dog, to break silence while offering worship to the deity, to go to the toilet during the time of worshipping the deity, to offer incense without offering flowers, to worship the deity with forbidden flowers, to being worshipped without having washed one's teeth, to begin worship after sex, to touch a lamb, dead body, or a woman during the menstrual period, or to put one red or a bluish clothing, unwashed clothing, the clothing of others, or soiled clothing. Other offenses are to worship the deity after seeing the dead body, to pass air before the deity, to show anger before the deity, and worship the deity just after returning from a crematorium. After eating, one should not worship the deity until one has digested his food. Nor should one touch the deity or engage in any deity worship after eating sunflower oil or hing. These are also offenses. In other places, the following offenses are listed: to be against the scriptural injunctions of the Vedic literature, or to disrespect within one's heart the Srimad Bhagavatam while externally falsely accepting its principles, to introduce of differing shastras, to chew pan and betel before the deity, to keep flower for worship on the leaf of a castor oil plant, to worship the deity in the afternoon, to sit on the altar or to sit on the floor to worship the deity without a sit, to touch the deity with the left hand while bathing the deity, to worship the deity with the still or used flower, to speak while worshipping the deity, to advertise one's glory while worshipping the deity, to apply tilak to one's forehead in curved way, to enter the temple without having washed one's feet, to offer the deity food cooked by an uninitiated person, to worship the deity and offer bhoga to the deity within the vision of uninitiated person or non-Vaishnava, to offer worship to the deity without worshipping Vaikuntha deities like the Ganesha, to worship the deity while perspiring, to refuse flowers offered to the deity, to take a vow or oath in the holy name of the Lord. If one commits any of the above offenses, one must read at least one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This is confirmed in the Skanda Purana, Avanti Khanda. Similarly, there is another injunction stating that one who reads the 1,000 names of Vishnu can be released from all offenses. In the same Skanda Puran, Reva Khand, it is said that one who recites prayers to Tulasi and saw a Tulasi sage is also freed from all offenses. Similarly, one who worships the Shalagram Shila can also be relieved of offenses. In Brahmanarad Puran or in Brahmanda Puran, it is said that one who worships Lord Vishnu, whose 4 hands bears a conchal dish, lotus flower and club, can be relieved from the above offenses. In the Adi Varaha Puran, it is said that the worshipper who has committed offenses may fast for 1 day at the holy place known as a Shaukarava and then bathe in the Ganges. In the process of worshipping deity, it is sometimes enjoyed that I worship the deity within the mind. In the Padma Puran Uttarakhanda, it is said, all persons can generally worship within the mind. The Gautamiya Tantra states, for a sannyasi who has no home, worship of deity within the mind is recommended. In the Narada Pancharatra, it is stated by Lord Narayana that worship of the deity within the mind is called Manasa Puja. One can become free from the four miseries by this method. Sometimes worship from the mind can be independently executed according to the instructions of Avihotra Muni, one of the Navayogendras. As mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, one may worship the deity by chanting all the mantras. 8 kinds of deities are mentioned in the Shastras, and the mental deity is one of them. In this regard, the following description is given in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. In the city of Pratishthānapur, long ago, there resided a Brahmana who was a poverty-stricken, but innocent and not dissatisfied. One day he heard the discourse in an assembly of Brahmanas concerning how to worship the deity in the temple. In that meeting, he also heard that the deity may be worshipped within the mind. After this incident, the Brahmana, having bathed in the Godavari river, began mentally worshipping the deity. He would watch the temple with his mind, within his mind, and then in his imagination he would bring water from all the sacred rivers in golden and silver water pots. He collected all kinds of valuable paraphernalia for worship, and he worshipped the deity with gorgeously beginning from the bathing the deity and ending with the offering arti. Thus he felt great happiness. After many years had passed in this way, one day within his mind he cooked a nice sweet rice with a ghee into it to worship the deity. He placed the sweet rice on a golden dish and offered it to Lord Krishna. But he felt that the sweet rice was very hot, and therefore he touched it with his finger. He immediately felt that his finger had been burned by the hot sweet rice, and thus he began to lament. While the Brahmana was in pain, Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha began smiling, and the goddess of fortune inquired from the Lord why he was smiling. Lord Vishnu then ordered his associates to bring that Brahmana to Vaikuntha. Thus the Brahmana attended the liberation of Samipya, the facility of living near the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. That's the glory of deity worship. Archana. We'll discuss tomorrow evening on this again, because it's a very essential topic for the householders or grihastha, that they should know about this. So tomorrow again we will repeat the same topic. Vandanam. Although prayers are part of a deity worship, they may be considered separately, like the other items, such as hearing and chanting. And therefore, separate statements are given herewith. The Lord has unlimited transcendental qualities and opulences, and one who feels influenced by the Lord's qualities in various activities offers prayers to the Lord. In this way, he becomes successful. In this connection, the following are some of the offenses to be avoided. To offer obeisances on one hand, to offer obeisances with one's body covered, to show one's back to the deity, to offer obeisances on the left side of the deity, to offer obeisances very near the deity. The next is dasyam. There is the following statement in regard assisting the Lord as a servant. After many thousands of births, when one comes to understand that he is the eternal servant of Krishna, one can deliver others from this universe. If one is simply continues to think that he is the eternal servant of Krishna, even without performing any other process of devotional service, he can attain full success. For simply by this feeling, one can perform all 9 processes of devotional service. The next one is Sakhyam. In regard to worshipping the Lord as a friend, The Agastya Samhita states that a devotee engaged in performing devotional service by Shravanam and Kirtanam sometimes want to see the Lord personally. And for this purpose, he resides in the temple. Elsewhere, there is this statement, "O my Lord, Supreme Personality and eternal friend, although you are full of bliss and knowledge, you have become the friend of the residents of Vrindavan. How fortunate are these devotees." In this statement, the word friend is especially used to indicate intense love. Friendship, therefore, is better than the servitude. In the stage above Dasya Rasa, the devotee accepts the Supreme Personality of a Godhead as a friend. This is not at all astonishing. For when a devotee is pure in a heart, the opulence of his worship of the deity diminishes as the spontaneous love for the personality of the Godhead is manifested. In this regard, Sridhar Swami mentions Sridhama Vipra, who expressed to himself his feeling of obligation, thinking, life after life may I be connected with Krishna in his friendly attitude. And the last one, which is Atma Nivedana. The word Atma Nivedana refers to the stage at which one has no motive other than to serve the Lord, surrenders everything to the Lord, and performs his activities only to please the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Such a devotee is like a cow that is cared for by its master. When cared for by his master, a cow is not in anxiety over its maintenance. Such a cow is always devoted to its master, and it never acts independently, but only for the master's benefit. Some devotees therefore consider dedication of the body to the Lord to be Atma Nivedana. And as stated in the book known as the Bhakti Viveka, sometimes dedication of the soul to the Lord is called Atma Nivedana. The best example of Atma Nivedan are found in Bali Maharaj and Ambarish Maharaj. Atma Nivedan is also sometimes found in behavior of Rukmini Devi at Dwarka. So these are the ninefold process of devotional service which has explained by Prahlāda Maharaj. Srila Prahlāda Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.